Something is watching your face right now, and it is remembering what it sees. Not vaguely, not generally. Specifically, your face, your features, you. Crows, sheep, dogs, horses, bees, fish, and wasps, they can all recognize individual human faces. And your face has been readable for millions of years, long before humans existed to read it. Tonight we are going to look at what your face is actually hiding and why the animal world can read it better than you might want to believe. In 2011, researchers at the University of Washington conducted one of the most unsettling experiments in the history of animal behavior research. They wore specific masks while catching and tagging crows, so the crows would associate the mask, not the person's real face, with the threatening experience. Weeks later, the same researchers walked through campus wearing the same masks, just walking, not touching any crows. The crows mobbed them and had apparently told other crows in the area, because birds that had never been caught by those masks also participated in the harassment. Over 5 years of follow-up, the number of crows responding to the threatening masks grew. The face memory had been socially transmitted through the crow population. Crows have dedicated neural circuitry for individual face recognition, a cognitive capacity that scientists previously believed was exclusive to primates. In controlled tests, crows can distinguish individual human faces with accuracy above 90%, better than many humans perform on face recognition tests for unfamiliar faces. Sheep can recognize up to 50 individual human faces from photographs alone, not from real people. A 2017 study at Cambridge trained sheep to recognize celebrity faces from photographs and then showed them the same people photographed from a different angle. The sheep recognized the faces even from new angles they had never seen before, demonstrating angle-invariant face recognition, the same sophisticated mechanism humans use. The brain region dedicated to face processing in sheep is proportionally comparable to the same region in primates, suggesting face recognition evolved independently in multiple lineages. The evolutionary reason is practical. Sheep that could identify the specific humans who fed them, protected them, or posed a threat had a survival advantage over those that could not. Dogs read human facial expressions, and they do it differently from every other animal on Earth. Studies using eye-tracking technology have shown that dogs specifically look at the left side of a human face when reading emotion, because the left side of the face is more emotionally expressive. The left side of the human face is controlled by the right hemisphere of the brain, which processes emotion more deeply, making it slightly more expressive than the right side. Wolves raised by humans do not show this left face bias. It developed specifically in dogs during the domestication process, suggesting that reading human faces became a selected trait. Dogs do not just recognize that expressions are different, they respond behaviorally to the emotional content of what they see on your face. Horses also read human facial expressions, and their heart rates measurably change in response to the emotional content of a human face they're looking at. In one study, horses were shown photographs of unfamiliar humans making either happy or angry expressions, and when they later met those humans in person with neutral expressions, they treated them differently based on the photo. Horses linked the remembered face to the emotional memory of the expression, storing not just who you are but how you made them feel the last time they saw your face. And then it gets stranger. Archerfish, a species with no neocortex, the brain region considered essential for face processing, can learn to discriminate individual human faces with accuracy above 80%. The finding forced researchers to reconsider whether the neocortex is actually required for face recognition, or whether other brain structures can independently develop the same capability. Cleaner wrasse fish in coral reefs have been observed returning preferentially to specific individual human divers, recognizing them through scuba masks and underwater gear. And then it gets even stranger. Paper wasps can recognize individual faces, both within their own colony and, in laboratory studies, individual human faces. In controlled tests, wasps trained on specific human face photographs consistently chose those faces over similar but different faces, demonstrating genuine individual face discrimination. A paper wasp brain contains approximately 1 million neurons, compared to the human brain's 86 billion, and it is doing individual human face recognition with that. Honeybees trained on human face photographs can choose the correct face from a lineup with accuracy above 80%, even after a 24-hour delay. The question that all of this raises, the one that the crow and the sheep and the wasp and the fish all point toward, is why? Why can so many completely unrelated species, insects, fish, birds, mammals, all read individual human faces? Part of the answer is that face recognition systems are flexible enough to extend to other species, but the more interesting part is what makes the human face so unusually readable in the first place. The human face has 43 distinct muscles, more than any other animal on Earth. Chimpanzees, our closest relatives, have significantly fewer facial muscles, and other mammals have fewer still. Several human facial muscles have no function other than emotional expression. They exist purely to move the face in ways that communicate internal states to other individuals. Psychologist Paul Ekman documented 6 core facial expressions that are universally recognized across all human cultures: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, and surprise. Isolated cultures in Papua New Guinea, with no exposure to Western media, produced and recognized the same expressions, confirming they are biological, not cultural. Human babies produce recognizable emotional facial expressions from birth, before they've learned anything from their environment. The complexity of the human face appears to have co-evolved with the complexity of human social groups. As our societies became more sophisticated, our faces became more expressive. In small, simple groups, crude expressions suffice. You need to communicate basic states like threat and submission. In complex societies, you need to communicate nuance, deception, affiliation, and intent. But the single most unusual feature of the human face is not the muscles, it is the eyes. Every other primate has dark sclera, the area around the iris that in humans is white. The white sclera makes your gaze direction immediately readable to anyone looking at you. A subtle movement of your eye tells a watching animal or person exactly where you are looking. This is called the cooperative eye hypothesis, the idea that human white sclera evolved specifically to make our gaze direction readable to other humans. In a cooperative hunting group, being able to silently direct others' attention with a glance, without sound that would alert prey, would be an enormous survival advantage. Human infants begin following gaze direction at 9 months, a developmental milestone that appears earlier and more reliably in humans than in any other primate. Chimpanzees follow head direction, but when the head and eyes point in different directions, human infants follow the eyes while chimpanzees follow the head. And this is one reason why crows are so good at reading human faces. They use the white sclera to track your gaze direction, letting them know exactly what you are paying attention to. Studies have shown that crows approach cached food significantly more quickly when the watching human's gaze is averted. They read your sclera to determine when you are not looking at them. Your eyes were designed to be read, and the animal world has been reading them for far longer than you have been aware of it. Put together, 43 facial muscles producing the most complex expressions in the animal kingdom, combined with white sclera making gaze direction continuously readable, the human face is the most communicatively sophisticated surface in nature. The question is whether we evolved these features for each other to read, or whether their readability to the entire animal world tells us something deeper. In the ancient world, your face was being read continuously, by prey animals gauging your attention, by predators assessing your alertness, by social partners reading your intentions. The predators in your ancestors' world read human faces too, and ancestors whose faces clearly signaled confidence and alertness may have been avoided more than those whose faces broadcast uncertainty or distraction. The face became evolutionary technology, selected for its communicative power, refined over millions of years of social and environmental pressure, until it became the extraordinary signal broadcasting surface it is today. Neanderthals had heavier brow ridges that partially obscure their eyes, and researchers have suggested that the more visible, more expressive face of Homo sapiens may have provided social coordination advantages that contributed to our survival and their extinction. The white sclera is estimated to have appeared approximately 1.8 million years ago, meaning your eyes have been broadcasting your gaze direction to the world for nearly 2 million years. For 1.8 million years, your ancestors' eyes have been telling the world exactly where they were looking. Dogs specifically evolved to read human eye direction during domestication. Wolves do not do this, but dogs do. suggesting they adapted to the white scara as a communication tool within their evolutionary window of living alongside humans. Right now, in any environment where animals are present, your face is being actively processed by nervous systems that have been calibrated through millions of years of proximity to humans to read exactly what it shows. Each species reads something different. Crows read identity and threat, dogs read emotion, horses read the emotional quality of your intent, fish distinguish individual features, bees learn your specific pattern. Your face was not designed for a mirror, it was designed for an audience, and the audience is considerably larger than you have ever been led to believe. The next time you walk through a space where animals are present, understand that you are not an observer of the animal world. You are being observed, read, and remembered by it. Your muscles move. Your scara broadcasts. Your expression transmits. And everything within range is receiving the signal. Your face is carrying millions of years of evolutionary history, written in muscles, encoded in the color of your scara, expressed in responses that predate language by an enormous margin. The crow memorizing your face does not know it is interacting with the most communicatively sophisticated biological surface in nature. It is simply using a capability that your face made available. You are the most readable creature that evolution has ever produced. And your face has been telling that story to everything around you for millions of years. Millions of years old. Still broadcasting. Right now.